Hello and welcome to Onit. In today's video, we'll be learning about security in Onit. I'll be going over the different layers to our security model, what this looks like out in the wild, and some best practices. Security in Onit follows a rule of least access. This means that only participants on a record will have access to view that record. We call this participant level access. When we want to give a group of users access to numerous records in Onit, even ones where they're not a participant, we put them in a user group and give them private or non-private access to records in an app. We call this user group level access. Users in a private user group will gain access to all records in the designated app, including those marked private. Users in a non-private user group gain access to all non-private records in the designated app. Because user groups can potentially give users in that group access to all records within an app, it's important to think critically about which apps you assign to a user group. Often, user groups assigned to critical apps like Matter in our ELM product will be filled with only users who need access to all the records, like administrators, GCs, and department heads. User groups assigned to non-critical apps like Contacts in our CLM product will be filled with general legal department users, as these apps are useful to all users and don't contain sensitive data. Sometimes, we want to give particular users the ability to make system-level configuration changes, upload lists, and create new apps and workflows on the Aptitude platform. In order to do this, we must give the user a system role. There are 4 system roles. The system admin role is the most powerful role in the system. Users designated as a system administrator gain access to all records and all apps within the environment. They have the ability to create, edit, and delete apps and records, and change system-level settings. Our advice? Limit system admin roles to a small and select group of people. As they say, with great power comes great responsibility. The app creator role is a useful role for an Aptitude developer. This role gives the user the ability to create, edit, and delete all apps and configuration within the environment. This role does not give the user the ability to see all records. They only have a base participant level access to records. This means they must be a participant on the record to gain access to that record. An app administrator has the ability to administer a particular app. This role gives a user the ability to edit an assigned app and its configuration. This role also gives a user the ability to see all records, including private, within that assigned app. This role is best used for Aptitude developers and administrative users who might need to tweak configuration on an app and has permission to see all the records within that app, but don't need to access the back end of any other apps. The list administrator role is all about lists. As a list administrator, the user gains access to the administration page and has the ability to upload, edit, and delete lists. They do not gain any other special access. They only have a base participant level access to records. This means they must be a participant on the record to gain access to that record. The final piece to the Onit security model is the inherited access. Inherited access comes into play when a user is a participant on a parent record and we want to automatically give them access to any child records. This is used in our ELM product to give segmented work area specific access to matters. In this example, we see that if you are a participant on record A, you inherit access to record B via an inherited role. An inherited role is the mechanism that gives all participants on a parent record access to child records. They can also give participants on parent records access to nth child records. As you can see, a participant on record A also has access to record D. This is because the participant on A inherits access to record B via an inherited role. Because they have access to record B, they also inherit access to record C. And because they have access to C, they inherit access to D. We call this security chaining. This can be configured in any app. Some things to keep in mind as you design and develop in Onit. Try to prevent overlapping security. If a user is in a user group that has access to all records within an app, they shouldn't gain access to those same records via an inherited role. It's redundant. Limit inherited roles to 1 or 2 per app, and also avoid overlapping inherited roles. Think about security first. Often, people think about security last, but because it affects so many parts of the design and configuration, it's best to tackle this first and keep it in mind as you develop. Now you know about security in Onit. If you would like more information on our security model, please visit docs.onit.com. For questions on how security in Onit may affect your build, please submit a build help request or contact the Onit Training and Certification team at academy@onit.com. Thanks for building with Onit.